Welcome, viewers. This is A Vision Media Broadcast. Once again, you're listening to the best show out here today, the best podcast. And we
Amen.
have a legend. This woman is a legend because she's been out since she was 7 years old in showbiz. This woman is Audrey Gibbons. Um, I'm going to get into her music, everything she's been doing, TV shows. She's famous for what's happening. The Gibbons kids. Everyone saw the episode. How are you, Audrey Gibbons?
I am wonderful. I'm blessed.
That's
I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
wonderful. Your smile just lit up the whole podcast. It's like,
Oh,
yeah, you have a beautiful smile. I've been checking it out since you've been smiling the last 20 seconds.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful
Thank you.
smile. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. And I thank you for coming onto the show and, just to bless it, like you're going to do. You're going to tell your story. Give us the background of the Givens kids and how things happen for you guys, for you all.
Right.
So what I wanted to know, as far as I know, are you like a musical? I know y'all was a musical family, correct?
We were. The journey actually started off with my music teacher.
Oh, okay.
We're from Newark, New Jersey. And my music teacher picked me out of it was like Glee Club back then.
Oh,
you know
oh,
Glee, it was called Glee clubs back
okay,
then, not choirs.
okay, okay.
And
Glee.
I was what, 5? I was about 5, and
Wow.
she just asked me to stand up one day and start singing.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay. I was terrified. I got up, I sang. She was like, when you get out of school, I want you to come to my classroom because I'm going to take you home. And I
Wow.
was like terrified because I'm like, did I do something?
Yeah, take me
Well,
home.
she wanted to tell my mother, your daughter has an amazing voice, and her, and ironically, her last name was Givens too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she wound up actually being our manager, but a lot of people thought that she was our mother. But she, it was just meant to be, obviously. She asked if I had brothers. And so she's actually was the catalyst to creating the Givens kids.
Wow. Okay.
Put us in acting school,
Yeah.
exposed us to a lot of things. Kids growing up in Newark, New Jersey, to a single mother of 7 kids. Um, so she was that catalyst. We went to acting school in New York, met, and that's where we met Danielle, Kim Fields, and Chip Fields.
Oh, yeah. You
So,
met the legends for real, like the
right,
vets,
right.
the vets of the game.
The legends,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where the journey actually started. And from there, it just, blossomed into, Chip actually reaching out to, they moved to California. So we stayed in New
Okay.
Jersey. But
Okay.
Kim, Chip, and Danielle and her family, they all moved to California.
California.
During the time, we all went to acting school. We went to this school called Alfan Theatrical Ensemble in Harlem.
Okay. In Harlem, New York. Okay.
In Harlem, New York, yes.
Wow.
And
Okay.
we through that we were on Songs in the Key of Life. Stevie Wonder, he came
Wonder.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
I want to get into all of that. Yes.
right. So I mean, listen. Oh my God, it's a lot to tell. It was my childhood was very unique.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Right,
But can we go just take a step back to your teacher being your manager, right? Was it the
right.
teacher?
It was my music teacher.
Who made the decision for the music teacher to be your manager?
I think it was just
Just happened.
she kind of took us under her wing. She created the group. My brothers, they were, we were all in the Glee Club. She got us all involved in music. And she kind of culminated that to, herself, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. So it just had like fell in place that way. It
Right.
wasn't. Wow. So was that the time when you made that decision? Because I know she taught you along the way, but how and when exactly did you realize you had the passion for singing? Was it because of her, or you just, you know?
I always knew. And it's so back then, we had shows like Cher,
Yeah.
was on. The
Wow.
Partridge Family was on. And my mother used to say to me all the time. She was like, she's gonna be a singer. Because I always loved shows like that. And I was always singing around the house. And I would tell my mother, I want to be a singer. I'm gonna be a singer.
That's right.
And just like any other kid, I put a t-shirt on my head and do the chair,
Hmm. That,
you know,
yeah,
do
yeah.
chair
Everybody wanted
hair.
to mimic. Yeah, you just wanted to mimic
So,
Cher or Tina Turner. You just want to mimic her.
oh, right. The Pointer Sisters. Remember the
Yeah, the
Pointer
Pointer
Sisters had a
Sisters.
show.
That's right. That's right. The Pointer Sisters.
So
Yeah.
those, that's what it just like lit me up as a kid. Singing. I remember one time singing in the middle. We lived in Newark, and I remember singing in the alley of this building, and I looked up, and all these people were just like applauding, and I must have been like maybe about 5.
Wow.
So it just it was just it's just God. God gives. He is
Yeah.
a giver.
You don't know the journey that you're going to be on. You don't
You
know.
absolutely nope. You have
Coming out of
no
school
idea.
is already planned. God already has
Yes,
it planned. You don't know.
predestined.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He asked Abraham to go somewhere. Abraham didn't know where he was going. He just said, "You just go take a journey." And no, he said, "Take nothing." But we can get into that. But anyway, you were young, 5 years old, 7 on what's happening.
I
Which
was 8. I was 8 years old on what's happening.
8 on what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go back to that just a little bit.
Okay.
How were the group discovered to appear on what's happening at that age? Who
Good
actually
question.
discovered you? Hmm.
Actually, like I said, we went to acting school with Danielle,
Yeah,
Kim Fields, Chip Fields, and they moved to California. And Chip actually became a writer for the What's Happening show.
wow.
She became a writer also for Facts of Life, and there was a couple of more shows that she became a writer on.
I didn't know that.
Good Times,
I didn't
and I
know
don't
that.
know if you remember, Chip was on. She played Penny's mother
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Good Times.
Oh, good time.
Burned
Yeah,
up with the iron.
with the
Remember
iron.
that?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yep.
Chip. So
Wow.
Chip actually, she wrote. She was actually the writer of that script. She wrote that script
Wow.
specifically for us,
Okay.
and she told the producers Norman Lear and Saul Turtletop told them, there's a group of kids.
Yeah.
They live in New Jersey. I wrote
Right.
this script for them. They're
Right.
really talented. Um, I really think that, I think you need to accept this script and we need to get them on the show. So
That's
I
right.
remember my mother woke us up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and we had to go to our agent's house. Our agent was in New York. We were living in Newark. We get to New York, and she was like, I just want you guys to just do what you do. We were, singing a lot of Broadway songs back then, is what, because that's what we grew up in Glee Club, right? And so, Mama Gibbons had put together this, Bubbling Brown Sugar. We would always go to see Bubbling Brown Sugar all on Broadway. So Bubbling Brown Sugar was on Broadway at the time, right? And we would go to the show because one of the producers was a good friend of Mildred Givens, who was and we called her Mama Givens.
Mama Gibbons.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
we called her Mama Givens. And so we did some songs. They recorded it, sent it to Chip. Chip responded the next day and was like, they want you guys to come to California.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that.
Now were you all? I know you were excited, but what was it? Any type of doubt that, wow, I don't know if we can do this because we've taken a big step. How was your parents involved in that whole big jump like that?
So my mom was a single mother. She raised 7 kids by herself. We were the youngest. We were the youngest, and then I had a sister and 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And what it was. We had been. This was we had been performing already. As the Givens kids.
Yeah.
Auditioning. We would go on auditions. Every audition I went on. Who was there? Tisha Campbell and Gary Coleman was at every audition I ever went to, right?
Wow. Okay. But for support or
No, they were there auditioning for
audition
roles that
too?
I was
Okay.
right,
Okay.
always there. And Tisha, she grew up. She's from Orange, so
Yeah.
she grew up not too far from me. We actually went to camp together.
Okay.
And so from just it was just a natural innate thing. I think it was. We were already performing. We were already in it.
Hmm.
We were doing, we were singing. We were doing stuff that we loved doing as kids.
That's right. That's right.
So, I was excited because I was just, in my mind, I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Wow. So this is what you want. Like you
This
knew.
is what I wanted, even at the age of 7 and 8, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yes.
Wow.
And then being exposed to things, being exposed to being on Stevie Wonder songs in the key of life.
That was big,
Yeah.
huge.
Yes, that
I
was
mean,
big.
just Stevie Wonder alone, you get next to him, you doing something.
Right.
And you didn't really know because you were young, but I mean you knew who he was, but you didn't know exactly how big
Exactly.
that was.
We were just being kids, just
Yeah.
having fun, enjoying, what we were doing, going to acting school and just being kids.
Now who actually traveled with you? Did your mother go travel with you all the time or
No, our manager, Mama Gibbons, actually became our manager,
oh wow, so she
and
traveled a lot.
so she traveled with us. Hmm.
Was it okay for your parents to travel with you all?
Yeah, if my mom wanted to go, she could have, but my mom was home raising 3 other kids.
Okay.
So she was home raising her other kids, and so she entrusted, Mama Givens. She like I said, we called her Mama Givens. She did so much for us, and my mother entrusted us with her.
Wow. So at that young age, and I know everyone was young also. What kind of experience did y'all have over there like that at that young age, like traveling back and forth?
Everything was it was a great experience. It really was. Chip was, she was gung ho for the Givens kids. She was very supportive. She was like to me, she was another mother. You
Okay.
know, um, who just wanted us to just explore, our gifts and our talents. And,
Wow.
traveling was, it was a great experience. It really was.
Wow. That's wonderful. And I want the viewers to know also that we are speaking with Audrey Givens from the Givens Kids. Remember, what's happening? Bubbling Brown Sugar was the most famous song we all sang when we were young. You know, when I take it back to that time, how many times did you all have to do Bubbling Brown Sugar?
Oh God,
Just sing it like over
countless.
and over again,
Countless times.
countless times.
I mean, I can't even count. Every show we did Bubbly Brown Sugar. Every interview we did Bubbly Brown Sugar.
Wow,
That was our mantra, Bubbling Brown Sugar. That's how people knew us by it. And to this day, it's amazing. That was 40 something years ago.
and you still know the song by heart, right?
Absolutely. Who
Can I hear a
what
little
black
bit?
child doesn't? What black child don't know Bubbly Brown Sugar? Child
You're
from
right.
the
And
70s.
some people may forget. A lot of people forget their song. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how many artists I have that say, you know what, I don't remember that. A lot of them, and it's 40
Really?
years ago. Yeah.
No, you never forget what
What was iconic?
something that made such a huge impact on you, on your life.
That's right. Can I can
Right.
I, Can you give me a couple verses? Can you just give me the first verse of that?
See,
I would
I'm gonna give it to you a little bit.
I would love to
The
hear.
song is bubbling brown sugar. If you feel you wanna jump and shout, bubbling brown sugar, joy is what it's all about.
Mhm.
Bubbling brown sugar, bubbling with a happy beat. Bubbling brown sugar is a stimulating Harlem treat.
Ooh, yeah. I
That's
remember
bubbling
that.
brown sugar.
That was a
Not knowing it's interesting because you just don't know the impact that seven shows in the 70s made on black children.
That's right. That's right.
And them actually seeing people that look like them on television back then. Um, I'm so grateful. I'm really grateful and I'm honored, at a lot of the, like right now, I guess what's happening is kind of having this revival on
Yeah.
Tubi. And so um, it's been great just hearing from our fans from so many years ago and just the impact and how
Right.
people, you know, they got to actually see kids that look like them on television, and that was impactful. And it's so honoring. It really warms my heart.
That's great. And if they air the show, well, they still air it today.
Hmm.
When when you see your part come, the Gibbons kids, that episode, do you still get residuals or some kind of monetary for that when they air that?
No, we
Okay,
don't. Just pure gratitude and joy.
that's it. Yeah, and just to know that you also made an impact on the world. Just
Yeah, and and like I said, you don't realize it as a kid. We didn't realize that back then, but just to hear from our fans now, it has been really, it's brought me to tears and really made
right.
me understand the impact of that show,
That's right.
and appreciate it.
That's right. Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
When your fans was trying to find you like I did, I mean, I ran across something and I saw you. It said the Givens kids. I said I have to reach out. I have to. How do your
Right.
friends, your fans react to you once they send you emails? Like, I mean, is it so warming? Just where you been? How you doing? Like, how do
Yeah,
you find?
they do. They always want to know. I mean, I did Sunday Best in 2014.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
So a lot of them got to actually see me after so many years.
okay.
But I mean, the reaction is always, you just don't understand
Yeah,
what it was to be a kid, to see kids that look like you on television.
that's right.
Um, in the 70s. I mean, it was different. It was just impactful. And so I mean, I'm just I'm saying that I'm honored because I really am, because I didn't realize it.
You should feel good, feel honored. That's right. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. That's right.
I'm honored. Yeah, because it's just I you just don't realize things.
Wow, Sunday best. How was that, and how did you get to appear on that on Sunday best?
Well, Sunday Best. So I actually stopped singing for like 18 years.
Oh wow, wow.
After the group kind of we parted ways. Everybody started doing what they wanted to do and, going to school and choosing other careers. I actually went to school on a music scholarship. I went to college in Alabama.
Okay,
And so I continued, continue pursuing music. Um, but the music industry was very difficult. It was
okay.
really difficult.
Back
It was a
then,
it was a difficult journey for me,
yeah,
as a black woman back then, and we talking about the 90s.
yeah,
There was a certain look. I got in the door because I was one of the Givens kids, right? I got in the door, but it was a certain look they were looking for. You weren't, your hair wasn't long enough. You
Blind,
know, you,
skinny, blue eyes, all that
ex-
type of stuff.
right, all of that. And
Yeah.
so I stopped singing for 18 years. I had a friend that actually worked for BET,
Okay.
and the producers had called me every year that they were actually holding auditions for Sunday Best. Probably for the last 5 years, they were calling me, and I was saying, no, I'm not doing music anymore. I don't sing anymore.
Courage. Yeah.
Um, and so a friend of mine called me that worked for BET, and she said, it's time for you to come out of hiding.
Wow.
And it was. I mean, honestly, it really was. It was time for me because I was missing out on something that I love to do.
Yeah.
I had given up, something that just filled my spirit and filled my soul, and was really truly one of my purposes on this planet.
Okay.
And so she said, listen, I'm going to have the producers actually call you. I said, you know what, Elise, I'm going to do it this year. I'll do it. And that's how, I got on Sunday Best. I went, they were, excited. We're excited to have you here. Kirk was a trip. Kirk Franklin was it
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah. How was? Yeah. I was going to ask
Oh,
you.
he was excited. He was like, my wife is not going to believe that you're here. My wife is not going to believe it.
I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings.
He sat there and sang the whole song, Bubbling Brown Sugar,
Yeah.
at my audition. It was a great experience. It really was. So that's how, Sunday Best actually came about. Um, they wanted me to come on. I went for the audition. I went through the process and everything. And, they made it they were very gracious.
Wow, that's wonderful. So at Sunday Best, what are the prizes there? Like, do you actually want a recording studio session, or
You
how is
do.
that?
You win with Kirk Franklin. Kirk has his own label.
Okay.
And so I think it's a I'm not quite sure how many years of a recording contract, but you win a contract with Kirk.
Okay.
Hmm.
Did you ever get a chance to do like a song with anyone out there, as far as the artists like Kurt Franklin or anyone else?
No, mm-mm. During my time of, I stopped, like I said, I stopped singing for 18 years. Kind of just in hiding, for a really, really long time, dealing with,
Personally.
I mean, to be honest with you, I was dealing with undiagnosed severe depression and anxiety.
Okay.
So that has been one of my journeys in my life.
Was that a part of the music industry, like just the industry period, with the depression?
You know what? I'm sure it was. I mean, like I said, we went to school. You try to live your life, uh, daily.
Yeah.
Just like normal people,
Right.
but your life isn't normal. Because you've been on this world platform that
That's right.
people they love you or they hate you.
That's right.
And so,
That's right.
I dealt with, being bullied in high school, um, which was a horrible experience. I dealt with, the music industry, dealing with, that whole, trying to get your foot in the door and people kind of like telling you who you are and who you need to be, and you have to remember, I started off like I was 8 years old. So, I went through being in the industry, you know, trying to figure out who I was as a woman,
Yeah.
as a kid, as a black child, as a black teenager.
Right.
Um, So, I'm sure that all of that was probably triggers to,
Yeah,
having an undiagnosed depression and anxiety. I mean, I'm right now, I am in treatment, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful
that's
that I'm
wonderful.
still here.
A lot of people don't know the key to everything is a connection with Christ and prayer. Because once you have that, they can't take nothing from you at all. They could beat you up a little bit, but as far as your mind and your heart, that's always there because that connection with God. That's
Right.
number one. And I was going to ask you, as a child, do you think it's safe to place a child in the industry today that has a lot of talent, 10 years old, 11 years old? You think it's okay for that child to go into the music industry at that age?
I do. I absolutely do. I think that it's important that, you know, my mother wasn't really that involved in, my mom was from Georgia. She had 7 kids, so she wasn't in the industry. She wasn't an industry mom. I think
Like
if you're in,
in general. I'm sorry, I was just speaking in general. Any child that has a talent.
right.
Sorry.
But yeah, I think that I don't think there's anything. I mean, you have to understand, and these kids, this is a different generation.
It is.
They're way more vocal. They're more exposed to things than we were. I mean, they see entertainment every day on their phone, TikTok. So of course they want to emulate it. I do think it's important that, as a parent, if that's the avenue that your kid want to go, that they know who they are, and that you make sure that they know who they are, make sure they are vocal. These kids are way more vocal than we were. Back then, it was be quiet and sing. That's what I grew up with. Be quiet and you just sing and just do what you're told. No, kids these days, they're more vocal than we were, and I love it. I think, and I think the kids nowadays, they know who they are. I
That's
didn't
right.
know who I was as a kid and a teenager.
Yeah, they know. They kind of know who they are.
They know who they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So you can also get like lost out there or swallowed up sometimes out there in the industry.
Absolutely. With the wrong people, there were times we didn't always have great management. Our management wasn't always doing what they were supposed to do. We didn't have people, a lot of people that we work with, their best interest wasn't always for the givens. Their best interest was for themselves.
Yeah.
So, that's why, if your kid's involved as a parent, I think you need to really, really, truly be 150% involved in what they're doing.
That's right.
You need to be their catalyst. You need to be their support. You need to be their place where, they know who they are because of what you're instilling in them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And how's your brothers? Like, how are they doing?
My brothers, they're good. Well, one of my brothers passed away in 2018, one of the twins. So that was a huge loss for my family. My brother Derek, he dabs in and out of music every now and then. He has a couple of records. He's done some production uh, a while back with Gwen Guthrie,
Uh-huh.
um, 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 George Benson.
Okay.
He has a house song out. But he's in corporate America.
Okay.
So that's how he eats.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Right.
And who are your biggest influences?
Right now, well, my biggest influences when I was a kid was Sarah Vaughan.
Take it back.
We listened to the Jacksons a lot. As a matter of fact, after we did the What's Happening show, we went out to California, and Chip actually did an off Broadway play called "God Bless the Child,"
Okay.
in which Janet Jackson was in it. It was Janet Jackson, Kim Fields was in it, and a couple other cast. So we were out in California for a couple of months when I was like 10.
Wow.
Uh, she's a great writer. She does what she does, and she does it well.
Well,
Um, but I'm sorry, what was the question again?
who are your biggest influences?
Oh, so like I said, Sarah Vaughan. I mean, right now I'm loving, I love Layla Hathaway. Of course, when I was in college, everybody always wanted me to sing Sweet Love, Anita Baker,
Sweet love.
Luther Vandross,
Wow.
um, you know, um, Duke Ellington,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, Phyllis Hyman.
Yeah, Phyllis.
Those were the people that we listened. Our house, we had music in our house. We listened to Motown,
That's right.
in my house,
Yeah, we
so
too. Yeah.
right. And I had older brothers, so it was, we listened to a lot of Blue Magic, The Temptations,
Intruders. Yeah.
OJ's, yes.
OJ's. Yeah. 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 Earth, Wind, and
Of course,
Fire.
Stevie
Stevie
Wonder,
Wonder. That's right.
of course,
Right.
Stevie.
LTD.
Right.
You know.
Hmm.
Wow. Do you still reach out to Raj? Is Dwayne? Is he still? Dwayne still live? I know two of them passed away. Shirley and Rerun.
Right. Hey, actually, I
Yeah. Hey,
have an
hey, yeah.
interview coming up with a gentleman with Haywood Nelson.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so I have an interview coming up in the next couple of weeks, and
Okay.
the interviewer was able to get in touch with Haywood Nelson. But
Okay.
yeah, Haywood's still around. Ernest, he's still around. Y'all call him Raj.
Yeah, we call him Raj. We so
His
used
real
to him.
name is actually
Ernest.
Ernest.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's Ernest. And it's like it's crazy. Once you got a nickname, that's your name. Like,
It is like D is forever gonna be D. Thank
yeah,
goodness her
yeah,
name is
yeah,
Danielle, but she's gonna forever be
yeah,
D.
yeah. How about Danielle? Do you speak to D at times?
I spoke to Danielle a couple of years ago, um, and she's we speak every now and then,
Okay.
but it's been a couple of years since I spoke to her because she was living in New Jersey, I believe, at one time.
Okay.
She got married and was living in Jersey.
Yeah.
Ernest, we talk, we'll send each other a DM on through Facebook or Instagram, say hello just to check in,
Yeah.
um, you know, same thing with Kim, send her a DM. She was actually doing a book signing here, and I popped up on her. She was like, "Oh my God!"
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Support. Okay.
right.
Do people still recognize you? And I know we talked about that earlier. Do they still recognize you and ask you to sing "Bubbling Brown Sugar"? Do they do that?
Absolutely. And it's funny because like my brothers could walk down the street and I don't know what it is. People I'm telling you, I have no idea what it is. When I tell you I get recognized all the time. And I'm like, wow, that show was what, 42 years ago?
42 years. 43. 43.
43 years ago, and I still get recognized. And people tell me all the time, you still look the same. You still look the same. So, yeah, I do get recognized a lot, surprisingly.
Wow, wow. How does it make you feel? People still know who you are. It's like, because, some people kind of forget, but they know.
Right. And what's interesting is that people from our generation
Yeah,
have kind of like influence their kids. So, when it's somebody that's like young, that's like, oh, my mom used to
yeah,
sing your song,
yeah,
of course you
right.
feel great. I mean, it's a great feeling that something so long ago is still, first of all, still playing on television,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
it is.
still influencing people
Right.
and just making them, just bringing joy to people. That's the great thing. So yeah, I mean, now when they catch me and I'm looking crazy
And then it's
and
a
they want to take a picture,
wow. It's like, oh no,
I'm like, wait a minute.
yeah,
but
not
but
this time.
listen,
No,
I'm me. If I'm in the supermarket, I'm shopping. But
yeah.
I it's listen, it's like I said, I'm truly thankful. Yeah,
That's great. And being as though you are a musical artist, you know, um, if you could open up a show for any artist, who would it be?
Layla Hathaway.
Wow, no thought. That's
No thought.
Layla Hathaway. Wow,
Layla Hathaway.
that's great. And are you working on anything new now?
You know what? Like I said, I've been out of music for a minute, um, and kind of dealing with some things,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm actually gonna, I think it's time for me to jump back into doing some music. So I've actually kind of connected with a couple of producers, and I'm looking for some producers. Send me some material. Send me some material. Send me some hits.
How do you have any in mind? Any producers you would like to work with?
Oh wow. Um, Swiss Beats.
Wow, Swiss.
I would love to work with. I would love to work with Timberland.
Okay,
I would love to do something with Missy Elliott.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some of the producers that I would love to work with.
I think that's
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I love to go in the studio with Babyface and
wow,
L.A. Reid.
wow. Now you talking. This is huge right there.
Right. Those are the people that I would love to go in the studio with. Absolutely. No question.
No question. Wow, no question. So are you trying to? Well, not yet, but you would like to reach out to them soon, or your peoples will reach out to them.
Yes.
Once things start rolling.
Things rolling, I'm in the process of, writing down, my journey, my mental health journey,
Okay,
finding my way, and in the process of writing a book.
okay.
So, I'm exploring several avenues in
Wow.
this moment. Hopefully, something that would be very relatable, and people can, most definitely will help and support others.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's